Last week we played hopscotch between worlds. We spoke about this children's game found everywhere on Earth and about how alcohol moves through our physical, ethereal, and spiritual bodies. We also touched a more subtle question: what oil is when seen with a third eye. Today we pull new threads. We look at horseshoes and the energy they hold, at the quiet moment when the matter forgets how to move and becomes stone, and at realistic sculptures, those strange forms where life seems to pause, halfway between breath and stillness. Different images, one same path. The path of matter, energy, and consciousness, learning how to speak to each other. I'm Adela Ciurea, and I welcome you to the 14th episode of Diary of an Inner Explorer. Okay. Let's go to the... Yeah, totally. So let's go to the fourth question. It's about horseshoe. Podkława. How does energy circulate in the horseshoe? Vasi, go.
I'm not sure. I feel that it's incomplete.
Incomplete, you said?
Yes,
There's something missing?
yes, you know,
I don't know. You tell me.
you know, like in like the tour, when the
Yes.
G it's all around. It's in the horseshoe. I have the feeling that it stops.
Mm-hmm.
So the flow is not continuous.
What does it need to be continuous?
To not be there. The horseshoe should not be there. Should
Okay.
not they don't need the horseshoe.
Oh, but you mean about the horses?
Yes.
No, well, just put the horses aside. It's about this shape and what
Oh,
this shape could mean, and how the energy is flowing in this kind of shape. Because I have some following questions, but I want to have the first impressions. So how does the energy circulate in a horseshoe, this shape, particular shape?
it just enters from uh, one end to another,
Okay.
and it goes out from the others on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not continuous, and I feel that it's not nurturing.
Okay.
This is my sense on it.
Okay. Thanks. Mirela, how do you perceive the energy in a horseshoe?
I see that the very shape of it. It's it's a similar element for us when we look at it from who we really are, and then we look at the physical plane where the game is played. Where the game is played, that the horseshoe is the same as the hopscotch.
Ah,
In a sense, like the game, the hopscotch, the shatranj.
yes.
In a sense that it has a similar signature, like the human existence, like the human body. The fact that we chose to have parts of us in human bodies, having a physical experience. So the reason we did that is also, and the reason many times we choose not to remember, it's for the fun of the game. So we leave room for the unknown, for spontaneity, for being surprised. And it's true, as Vasi said, for example, this energy is not necessarily nourishing. I see it as it's the energy of surprise, of opportunities, of letting things unfinished, of giving space for those things that will still happen. Because if everything is defined, there is no more space left in this specific dimension, in the specific dimension where horseshoes are present. So it's like, let's say, it's like a leaf that it's a whole leaf, and we look at the energy imprint of the leaf. But then if we take a piece out of the leaf at the end, and then the energy printing imprint is still whole, but in a physical plane, the top of the leaf is missing. So it's like that. It's like that's why the horseshoe can be seen as a symbol of good luck, or the symbol of luck in general.
Yeah, that was my second question. Why finding a horseshoe is considered as a sign of good luck in Romania? Was there any use?
Yes, that's why.
Just like a reminder? Explain
Yes,
a little bit.
because it's like the similar way as the easiest thing. It's like if you look at a magnet in a shape of a horseshoe,
Yes,
it's a perpetual, it polarizes, so it's there's no stagnation. It just keeps
flowing.
repolarizing again and again and again. And that's what it's the same as the water, the electrons that are created in a waterfall as opposed to stagnating water. So it just keeps creating and over again. And that's why it just brings change. But sometimes that's not necessarily, some humans may not see it as good luck. They say it's good luck, but and that's what I feel like Vasi sensed as is not necessarily nourishing, because it could go either way. Although we know it's subjective. I'm sorry, it's subjective. It's subjective because what can be good luck to one person or bad luck to one person, it's good luck to the others. So
So, okay, I'll be back to this question. Rasi, do you see something more about this sign of good luck?
No, I agree with Mirela, and indeed, the the energy that enters and goes out, it's and the element of surprise that you do not know. if you see the whole energy, you know the whole context. But with the horseshoe, you don't see the whole context, and it's the element of surprise that comes here. So
So, what was the point? People, when they used to find a horseshoe, they would hang it over their door or over their house somewhere. Is just a sign, a reminder, or is there something more?
it's a reminder, it's a hope. No, it's a way of hanging on hope, you know.
Okay.
So I have this, something good must happen to me,
Okay.
or nothing will touch me.
This sounds more something more than hope. It sounds more like confidence.
Yes, but with a little bit of hope that nothing will touch me.
Okay. Mirella, do you see something else? Or something
I
more?
see it almost as a, but as a human, like, or we would call it as a generator of good luck energy or like of this, because we know that shape is there. So even if we hang it somewhere, it's not going to change. The energy remains. So it's exactly as Vasi said, when we think of the concept of hanging on hope, we surrender to hope. And when we surrender to hope and we believe in hope, maybe it's easy sometimes to get stuck in the labels, whether we call it hope with confidence, or sometimes we tend to just shift that a little bit in different directions. Ultimately, what matters is that our attention, that we give it our attention and energy. And that's enough to create momentum. And from one source, if we look at the energy of the entire room, let's say, as a bowl of soup, and then we would, or let's say like more like, let's say like a hot tub, and on one little area on the side of the bowl, we have a small device that creates bubbles. And then ultimately the bubbles get everywhere inside the hot tub. And it's the same way, you know. So the horseshoe can be, let's say, hanging in a corner or on several places. It's just that much more bubble. That's that many more bubbles. And then it creates a ripple effect. It's like the butterfly effect.
Yeah,
so
it's more
it's
like
up to everyone. Sorry, just wanted to add.
yes.
While there can be two human beings in one room, one human being can tune into that, and while the other human being might not perceive its effect at all. So that can also create confusion.
I just want to make it straight. Is it about hope or is it something more?
More than, yes.
These are my feelings. Like hope is not constructive. Like hanging your hopes to something else instead of yourself.
Exactly.
Okay. Another related question. Some people consider triumphal arches, which we see in big cities all over the world, as old giant devices built with a specific purpose, like horseshoe devices. What do you perceive?
I perceive that's different. So the reason that's different is because what we would call the incomplete part, that's underground. That's something that we cannot touch anyway. If it would be visible, that would be different then. So it just feels like it's changing the nature of the energy. And it's not necessarily, I don't necessarily feel or sense that as what we would call negative. It could be good because that way the incomplete part, if it's underground, humans can mess with it less. They can't screw it up. Or they can't harm themselves as much with that. If versus if you would be exposed, it sounds like it would be much more opportunity to for that energy to be used by various types of ways, positive or negative.
Was it used, this energy? I mean, does a triumphal arch was used before for some reason? or now?
Absolutely. So I see it as part of a network, like their
Okay.
key points, key locations.
What was their purpose?
It feels like it was the same as if we would shrink the scale to a room
Yeah.
versus if we look at a big piece of land. So as if you would have different horseshoes in one room, they
Mm-hmm.
amplify the energy.
Okay. They work as magnets, actually? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there something in their structure that makes them work as magnets? Like their architectural structure?
Yes, that's the function also. So um, some of the teachings that humans might focus on is only for structural reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like the rebars inside the concrete, for example.
Yes.
But but we know that there is also that element of creating energy fields.
Mm.
And then once that's depolarized with the electricity, that's how even electromagnetic fields were created.
What do you perceive, Asi, regarding to these triumphal arches?
What Mirela said, and also I see them as some portals, gates of coming and going, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and they are underground also. So there is a part that we do not see because they are not like our the gates we are used to. So they are complete underground. And indeed, they are connected because I see energy wires that connects everything.
Mm-hmm. Are they
Um,
connected basically between arches, or are there other buildings that they are connected to, or structures?
Vasi actually uncovered one more aspect. As in the saying, as above, so below.
Mm-hmm.
So if one can just imagine, just
Yes.
flip the plane upside down, and suddenly what's underground is what's the top, and that's where the in quotes like incomplete part of the horseshoe is,
Mm-hmm.
and
And the
suddenly
torus form. So if you have two horseshoes, then you have a complete form.
that, but even if it's not complete, like underground, then whatever we see above ground suddenly becomes really the anchor of this energy. So even though it would be considered for us like it's our atmosphere, but if it's flipped upside down, it's actually anchoring. And then those surprises that we mentioned, the energy of the surprises and all that, it's really benefiting the other side of the plane. Also, to respond to the other part of the question,
Mm-hmm.
the connection is both between horseshoes and between other structures as well.
Mm-hmm. Some particular structures? The first one that comes, most important.
Obelisk, the
Yeah,
obelisk.
that came to me also. Okay.
Yes. Which also it's a representation. If we look at everything mirrors everything else,
Okay.
like on this plane, we have the masculine, the feminine, the horseshoes
Mm-hmm.
around the obelisk is a line.
Yes.
So it's a two different types of energies for
Mm-hmm.
balance.
So this kind of, let's say, energy device like the horseshoe, is there such a device in our physical body? Who sees it?
The
If you're
diaphragma
there, okay.
and also the internal organs, the feminine organs. I don't know. I sense it like
The ovaries, you said?
yes,
Okay. Mirella, you said what before? I didn't understand.
The third eye,
Third eye, okay.
And actually, now it just seems to come up in various parts of the body
Yeah.
as a mirroring of what we just discussed in the world that we built, and
Mhm.
not just as human beings, but as us in different civilizations, different shapes and forms at different times. So we find those elements inside the human body as well.
Okay, look in the human body, in the bone structure. Where do you see the horseshoe shape?
Let's see. At the knees, at the heels, at the
Tibia and peroneum.
No, but I think there is a bone.
like the funny
Very-
bone. Yes.
Yeah. What do you call the funny bone? The one you snap when playing?
Well,
On the chicken.
that's
Yes.
around the sternum.
Yes.
So
The
yeah,
V-shaped
that's-
bone here.
yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it just
It's different. Also the, the openings where in the skull where the eyes would be,
yeah.
just because sometimes the shape it looks finished, but it's really not. And if we realize that the eyes are instruments that as human beings, with the human bodies, that how we can see, and they're also portals, it's a great, like it takes us back to what Vasi said about the horseshoes being used as portals.
So it just popped in my head. You said something before, and it just came into my head. You know the image of the drawing of the free man, like you have like a U shape, up. You know this drawing I was showing in your video with a straight line, showing the connection from human between the sky and the earth.
Yes.
Okay, just popped to me. It looks like two different horseshoes, but opposite to each other. Please make a connection with this.
Like the hourglass, and there's above, so below.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
The portals, all of it. It's everything in it.
Basit, what do you see also?
I see the attraction of energy from above and below.
Mm-hmm. Ah,
And
the attraction.
yes,
Okay.
it's like two magnets that attract the energy from above and from below, and this energy unites in at the middle.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it's the
Okay.
same like the tree of life with the branches and then the roots underground.
Yes. This drawing is much more profound than we realize, actually. Okay. Fifth question. All good for you girls?
All good there.
Yeah.
Okay. Fifth question. How long is needed for the matter to turn into stone? First number that comes to you. How many decades or years or hundreds of years or thousands of years, please?
For me, it's number
Yeah.
X, like letter X,
What's the letter X?
in the sense that it can take millions and it can be done in a split second.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, my first thought is a few seconds.
Okay. Because there
But
is some, yes, please.
I think it's also about the perception, no?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you feel that a day it's going so quick, and sometimes a day it takes so much to until at the end of the day. And
Yeah, but let's say we'll take like this time structure that we know, it's not from a perception time, like for perception, just like the time structure we know with hours and days and weeks and months and years, how much time would take to matter to turn into stone? Let's say, okay, it can take millions of years, like Mirella said, and the least, how much time it can take?
100 years. 100 years.
Okay, Mirella?
I'm getting the same. It's just anything it's possible. So
Okay, so you can
It-
still, in a few seconds, it's possible also.
it's like because
Mhm.
stone is also it's like a projection of energy. It's
Mhm.
like energy frozen in time, so to say. So let's say that's why if you want to, you can walk through a stone wall and it can
Yes.
form back right after you step through it.
Yeah.
It's based on that concept.
Mhm.
Or the fact that there's many times, and this is shown to humans, let's say through movies or sci-fi movies, where somebody steps out to the street from another world, and once they look back, the wall will regenerate into a brick wall, or it could be like anything.
Mhm.
And for everybody else, it looks like it's stone. So it really, really depends on who is looking at that stone.
Mhm. So it's about perception again.
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted to make an similarity, like the bone, because
Yes.
that came on my mind.
Mhm.
So in the moment that you arrange the bone after it is broken, the bone starts to regenerate.
Yes.
And at the beginning, it's the soft part that it's regenerating. And I don't know, in a maximum a year, the bone it's the same as it was before.
Mhm.
It is complete.
Great
Yes, they like
comparison.
growing crystals.
Yeah. So I just want then now to focus on the process of turning matter or energy into stone from an energy point of view.
Can you repeat the question?
Just what's the process of turning something into stone from an energy point of view?
So it depends on the ingredients, so to say. So let's say one example can be if somebody has the means, then they can find a way to have stone created right away.
Mhm.
Or if they have, for example, the right nourishment and they know how to focus their energy, they can help to regenerate bone at a much faster rate than somebody who doesn't know how to do that, and they only rely on help from external sources and they believe what they are told. And luckily, the rest of the cells, the intelligence, the source, the energy from the rest of the cells will still continue with the regeneration, even if that person might not know how that happens. And the same happens in a big scale with mountains or with pebbles or with tectonic plates. There are worlds that can be created in a second, and then there are those that can form slowly, the way it's taught in books, for example.
Okay. How long does marble last? Rasi. First number that comes to
20, 20,
20 what?
20, 20 years.
Okay. Mirella?
It can last forever, but it can also be destroyed from external sources, like acid would destroy something or burn something. So it depends. But if it's not impacted by other forces, then it can last forever and regenerate forever.
Okay. There are some theories that say that marble only lasts like a few hundred years. So it was just for my curiosity. And now, please connect to the marble sculpture called Release from Deception, showing a fisherman being released from a net by an angel. How was it made? First thing that comes to you, Vasi.
No, with the human.
How? What do you mean made by a human?
With
With a human.
with a human.
What do you mean?
I mean, I think it was poured something on it. It's not very clear, but it makes me very agitated inside.
Mm-hmm. What's the feeling that makes you agitated?
Suffering.
Mm-hmm.
I persevere a lot of suffering, but not in the idea of the sculpture, but in the making of the sculpture.
Yes, I understood. Okay. Mirela, what do you perceive?
Three things at the same time, but the intensity, the highest intensity is what Vasi just said with the suffering, because when she said that, like for a second, I felt like I was transported inside the sculpture. I just, because I got the flash of the insides of it being alive, and then I just got this sudden, like two things, Meshtrul Manole and Baba Dokia, where in both cases, like in first case, right, a human being was put inside
The walls of a church.
creation in
Yeah.
order to make it last, and the second one, she was turned into stone. So that's the, it appears that that's what happened. It was actually alive.
Mm-hmm. And you said there are three things?
Yeah, so the Maestro Manole was one, with Baba
Okay.
Dokia the second, and third one suddenly
Interesting.
was, yes, the suffering.
When you're talking, it brought like when Vasi said about suffering, just had like a flash image of, do you know the statues that are made with real bodies and they are poured with wax in
That's exactly, yes,
it
that's
just
exactly
came,
what I got.
this flash, it came to me. So something similar.
Yes.
Okay. And who was able to do this kind of, let's say, work or sculpture?
Not humans as we know them.
They looked like humans, though.
Yes.
Maybe that's why you perceived human first. They're made with human, but maybe with human ingredient by someone that looked like human.
How long ago? When was it made?
Hundreds of years ago.
How many hundreds?
2, 3.
Okay. Mirala?
I'm only seeing, for some reason, I'm seeing the Greeks and number 7 floating, but cannot tell if it's 700 or 1700, or I just
Okay.
see the number 7 floating. So
Okay, maybe it's not relevant. Okay. Why?
doesn't seem relevant, because it's not the first time it happened, and it seems to be an ongoing hobby for some.
Okay, that was my question. Why was it made? It's a hobby?
A little bit.
Or is it kind of art? Or I don't know.
It's in quotes, it's a twisted hobby of some to try to capture beauty because of making up for something else.
Mm-hmm.
we know it's the corrupted, in quotes, it would be like corrupted part of energy, the same one that would also try to harm humans in the shape of alcohol, or it's just the same type of corrupted energy who has that illusion of separation, thinking that it's not part of the source.
Anything else, Vasi?
It's what Mirella said, and I persevere that it's yes, it's a hobby. It's a playful hobby. It's something to have fun with, to experience, to see what happens. It wasn't intended like to be an art, but now it's an art in these days and after it was created. So it became art, but it was more, let's say, hobby experiment. It was a mixture there between hobbies and experiencing to see what happens.
Because there are many statues that you would see. How did they make this with scissors? And this is just one example. And there are
Yes.
many intricate and very complicated structures. But let's go see some that, okay, they might have been carved with scissors. Let's look at some, let's say, Michelangelo, like Pietà. Let's say it's a perfect sculpture. Was it made in this kind of technique, or was it like, yes, with scissors and polishing?
With the polishing as we know it, it cannot be done. I see very sophisticated instruments, but how do you say in English, dalta and chocanu?
Scissors and hammer and scissors.
Yes, yes. I don't see how it was made with those, but only I see like a machinery with a lot of arms, no?
Something that was carving or like printing?
Was carving.
Okay.
Because that was also a delight to do, you know. It's like us when we find pleasure in painting something, you know.
What do you see, Mirella?
I, for some reason, even though I'm still hanging out in our place where we started during this session, so I'm hanging out in this place where we are light and we are not in our human bodies. For some reason, when I heard this question and the name Michelangelo, I was somehow transported suddenly, and I felt big compression, like in the chest area, more in a sense of a shock. And at the same time, I saw the image of there's a series, the Westworld, in which the trailer was used, where there's like bodies that were dipped in liquid and pulled out, still dripping before they solidify. And at the same time, I perceived this energy that it's been using technology through so many ways. The technology first to bring images to human beings on screens, to bring messages to images like movies, and then later to, through AI, for example, to show human beings how these personalities that children learn about in schools, how they might have looked like as real humans. However, what I'm perceiving is that it's been it's a it's an experiment that has been treated like a game, and at the same time, it's interesting because humans use that same technology to communicate, and again, it includes two kinds of energy, and it's perceived like the same way, like the horseshoe in the room, where some humans can perceive one aspect of it and other humans can perceive another. So same like the same technology, this AI, the same energy that can use AI as well, and then is everywhere, and it's all the devices that humans are using, but it also has positive aspects. So it's important, the message that it's all polarized. But it has been an experiment though. And what we know about Michelangelo is not the full story.
Would you care to complete a little bit about the story?
To complete is that even the image of a machinery with many arms, it feels linked to technology from that same source, the same type of energy. However, this experiment is it feels like a strong connection with that same process of dipping in something and then being assessed as art. However, there are other sculptures who tried to mimic that because they did not know the truth. So their sculptures will not be as perfect. But those that look perfect, they were through dipping, as heavy as that might feel. And for that energy, it was a beautiful mission, a beautiful process. Has been fun. Not being aware of the feelings or the suffering that it entails, except for when feeding from it.
And here we leave today's note. We've walked with matter, energy, stone, and form. Let all of this settle gently, like dust after a strong step. In the next episode, we'll follow a more intimate thread, an old tradition, singing in order to win someone's heart. What power do humans really have to inscribe love into matter? Until then, let yourself stay curious and loom your wings.